So boys, I have actually already tried making this video once before, but my phone sort of spazzed out halfway through filming and all the data got corrupted and that. But basically, all I want to do is show you my new car because it's Japanese and it's a bit interesting. So what I'll do is I'll show you it now and then I'll talk a bit about it. So here you go. It's a 2006 Impreza WRX STI, and I reckon what we'll do is we will get in the car because there's a guy doing DIY or something, so it'll be less noisy in here. Yeah, it's a Impreza WRX STI. It's a Japanese import, which is the kind of interesting bit. And I've had it for about 5 or 6 weeks, but I've only been able to drive it since yesterday, so it's been in storage because I'm the first UK registered owner, and I've basically had to wait for the DVLA to send me the V5 and get it all registered and stuff, which has taken about 5 or 6 weeks, which in the current climate of COVID-19 and stuff isn't actually too bad. So the guys that I bought it off had this already in the UK. I've not bought this, I've not seen this in Japan and then got someone to import it for me. I've bought this whilst it's been in the UK, so there's some guys up in Castleford that are currently doing this. They're just sort of buying cars and then selling them over here rather than, well, I'm sure they would probably import them for you if you wanted, but basically what they do is they buy them, bring them over, sort them out, and then sell them on. And the cool thing about that is obviously I got to see the car rather than if I had bought it on Japanese auctions. You know, you sort of roll your dice a bit, don't you, and you get what you get, but I did actually get to see the car and look over it and make sure I was happy with it rather than sort of taking a bit of a gamble on it. It takes a bit of the risk out of it, doesn't it? To be honest, it probably, you know, you're probably getting charged a bit more than, you could probably get it cheaper if you had imported it yourself, but I'd sooner not have the risk, to be honest. So anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, I bought it off those guys and I've only been able to drive it since yesterday because I got the documents back. It's Sunday today. I got the documents back on Friday, and then I had to get some plates made up, which was a bit of a faff because I bought some online that was supposed to be next day and they never came, so I basically had to go out. I didn't even realise you could do this. I didn't realise like car shops and stuff could just make them for you in 10 minutes, otherwise I wouldn't have bothered getting them online. I thought that'd be quicker. So yeah, I basically went to Wilco Motorsave and got them to make me some plates. It was really cheap as well, they were like 20 quid. but they are the long sort of standard UK plates. They couldn't do me the square plates. So basically, let me just show you. Basically, there's these bracket on the back, which is obviously made for a square Japanese plate, and you can legally have that shape of number plate. So that's basically what I wanted, so it'd look, you know, nice, and it'd look a bit more how it should. But they didn't have that, so I've had to get the long ones for now. I have got the others on order anyway, the square ones, so I'll just have to wait until they come. But yeah, the car, obviously it's an STI, so it's got all the nice performance bits. It's got a bit more power, it's got a bit better suspension, etc. Well, it hasn't actually, which I'll come to in a minute. But the Japanese cars also have a different engine, which to be honest, I'm not a big database of knowledge. I'm not 100% sure on everything I'm saying, so don't take it as like fact. But these cars have the EJ207, which I think only in Imprezas, it's only in the Japanese ones. I think it's an engine that crops up in like Legacies, and they used in other, you know, a few other bits. But on Imprezas, I think it's only the Japanese ones from a certain year range. So it has that, as opposed to the 2.5 litre Type UK engine. So the Type UK STIs have the 2.5 litre engine, which is the one that people go on about, you know, when they say about blown egg gaskets and blown up engines and stuff. That's the engine they're on about. Because I don't really know, just obviously OEM egg gasket, not very good. But I think they also suffer from other things, ringland failure and stuff like that, which for me put me off, as it would anyone. To be honest, it's probably one of them things where it's probably not as common as, you know, people make out, but it put me off. Because I can't really afford, I'm not loaded, I can't afford to have like my engine rebuilt and stuff. But those engines, I've heard, are superior if you get them all fully forged, etc. Which obviously costs thousands of pounds, but yeah, they're good engines after you've had all that done. So yeah, EJ207, twin scroll turbo as opposed to the single scrolls, which I don't think you can get twin scroll turbos standard on the UK models, which obviously means spools up quicker, less turbo lag. Also comes with a equal length exhaust manifold or header, whatever you want to call them. That is better. I believe the equal length manifolds are better. You get a bit more like top end on them. Whereas you lose a bit of that on the unequal ones. But what you do lose on the equal length headers is that rumble, that standard Subaru rumble. You'll know it if you've ever heard a Subaru or seen a Subaru drive past. You lose that quite a lot, to be honest. It is still there a bit. If you're close to the exhaust, it does make a bit of a burble, but it's nothing like on, you know, the UK models, which is a shame. But to be honest, it's probably better for, you know, keeping the neighbours happy and stuff. It's not a deal breaker for me anyway. So yeah, that's the main reason. That engine is why I got this car. The other is obviously, as everyone probably knows, Japan don't salt the roads, don't have as harsh a winters in some areas. Some areas they do have bad winters, and they do actually have a lot of rot. But if you know what you're doing, you sort of buy the cars from the auctions in the places where they don't have the bad winters, so less rust, which is true for this car mostly. Really clean underneath, like nothing like if you ever bought a brand new car over here, well, I'm saying a brand new car, a car from like, they're probably a bit better now, but a car from like the early 2000s or whatever, you buy them new, especially like Fords and stuff, you look underneath them after a year and everything, you know, everything's covered in like surface rust at least. Some of them even start like rotting after like a couple of years. But yeah, I don't. I've had a lot of MX-5s in the past, which rot really bad, like sills and arches and stuff. They rot from like the inside out, and it can cost you a lot of money to get them repaired. So since then, I've always liked the idea of importing a car just for that reason, so I could get it over here, get it undersealed, which this hasn't had yet. It's not been undersealed. I'm going to get it undersealed, wax oiled, etc. You know, where they spray the wax oil into the cavities of the doors and all the panels and stuff, which is obviously the best sort of protection you can have. So yeah, that's the plan, and that's sort of the main reason why. Well, the second reason why I wanted to import car. Also, JDM stuff's cool, and it's just cool. It's just cooler. It's cool to say you've got a JDM car. I'm not really that bothered about that, the bragging rights, but you know, it is a bit cool. So, what else is different? Did I mention the rear wiper, which is actually non-existent on this vehicle, but it should have come with the standard rear wiper, but it's been blocked off. And the tube, like the washer fluid tube, has been like folded over and blocked off as well. So if I really wanted to, I could put that back in, but I'm not that bothered. I'm not bothered about a rear wiper. That was obviously something that was done in Japan. The guy obviously modified it to not have that on. Which, to be honest, I think it's cool. There's a few bits that aren't standard on this car, as I mentioned about the suspension. So, actually, I'm jumping about now, but electric folding wing mirrors, I think that's a specific Japanese thing. I don't think any of the UK's cars have them. I'm just trying to think what else is different. There'll be some other stuff, but I can't think of it. Other than like indicator stalks on, but that's just like a Japanese car thing. So indicator stalks on this side, which is a bit like going to take some getting used to, as opposed to this side. I keep putting the wipers on and I'm trying to turn and stuff. So yeah, back to stuff that's not standard, which actually I'll get out of the car and I'll show you that now. So we'll start at the front, and the first probably really noticeable thing, if you've ever seen these cars, is that lip on the bottom isn't standard. So it's quite low, actually. It's lower than anything I've ever driven. It's just that the car's not like, well, it is lower than standard, but it's not super low anywhere else. But obviously the lip's lower down, which is, I don't know. I've gone over speed bumps and stuff. Well, I've gone over one speed bump and it didn't seem to cause me any issues. So yeah, I'm not too worried about it, but it is low, and it's probably not to everybody's taste. I really didn't like it when I was first looking at the car. I thought I'll probably take that off, but it has actually grown on me quite a lot. So it's a Gredi, which is obviously a known Japanese tuner / maker of performance parts. So, you know, it's a pretty nice bumper. It probably cost a fair bit. Bumper splitter probably cost a fair bit. And the other thing is it has US domestic wings and US standard headlights. So on Japanese and UK cars, you'd have your side indicators, and they're not required on American cars. So these panels have obviously been swapped for the American ones, and the headlights, they're built into the headlights. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. It makes the car obviously look a lot cleaner. And I'm, as far as I'm aware, I think it's a fairly common mod to do in Japan. Probably over here as well, to be honest, because it just makes it look a bit neater. But yeah, I really like that. That's another thing that's not standard. And the other bit was, it has, you're going to be able to see them, probably not, tucked away in there, it has some aftermarket coilovers, which they're alright, actually, to be fair. they're not too firm. It doesn't like completely ruin the ride or anything. But yeah, they're all right. I've only driven it probably about 3 miles. I've literally driven it back from where I was storing it, so I've not had much chance to sort of decide whether or not I like them. But yeah, they're all right. I don't know what brand they are because you can't see anything on them. I'll open the bonnet. Oh, I already did that actually. Too prepared. Do this one-handed. Hold that. So yeah, they've got these gold strut tops. I don't think they're standard, but there's no markings. I think they're fully adjustable, which is good. But yeah, I'll have to take the wheel off and stuff and see if I can figure out what they are. Engine's like completely stock as far as I'm aware, unless it's potentially been mapped or something, but I don't have any way of knowing that. The only thing that I have seen is this, which is obviously for a boost gauge, which currently doesn't go anywhere, and it's been tied off there to stop a vacuum leak, obviously, and it's got like a little bolt in the end of it there. Because obviously there's no gauge in the car or anything. There is though this little plastic clip thing. I did wonder what it was for. That is probably where the boost gauge was sat. I reckon I'll probably reinstate that. I'll probably get one and put one in because boost gauges are cool, and also it's kind of useful to have. I like being able to see all that sort of information. I don't think it's had any other gauges by the looks of it. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool. It shouldn't be too difficult to just get another vacuum pipe and a gauge and stick that back in. So yeah, I think that's it for modifications. Obviously not OEM, neither's this. These are like cheap things off a Wish, but to be honest, they're fairly useful. I'd sooner have, I don't know if this model of Impreza had them, but there was one that had like a cup holder as part of this. I think that'd be cool if you could get like a cup holder for there, because there's not really anywhere. There's these ones, but I never really like these because when you're shifting that, you can't have like a big Mackey's Coke. I don't know what size they are, but the big whatever ounce Cokes, you can't have them and then drive properly. You've got to adjust how you're driving. So I like the idea of having like a cup holder there, so that might be something we'll do in the future. This will be changed as well, purely because it doesn't have Bluetooth. So I got one on eBay. I think it's in here actually. No, it's not. It's back there. Got one on eBay that has Bluetooth. It cost me about 30 quid, which I think was like a steal. I'm not asked about having a big touchscreen thing. I just want Bluetooth so I can listen to Spotify when I'm driving. I've also got a car phone holder thing, like a electronic thing. It charges it as well. It's like a wireless charger. I'm going to stick that here somewhere. I'll probably do another video, to be honest, where I fit all these things, but yeah. And this gear knob is obviously aftermarket. It's alright. It's just a bit, it looks tatty because my girlfriend has sharpied all this. It was all scratched up, like it looked really naff, and she's gone around it and sharpied it and tried to clean it up for me, which is very nice of her. But yeah, I need a different one. I've got one off Wish, but I don't like it. Now it's here. It's a STI. You know, the newer STIs come with these, I think, and it's like a replica one. It's really light, as you'd probably expect. I didn't expect much of it. It was only a couple of quid. But yeah, I'll probably... The thing is, the OEM ones for these, like second-hand, like poor, well, okay condition ones, where like there's been like some rubbing or scratches on the leather, they're like, people are wanting like 40 quid for them, which is outrageous in my opinion. So I will probably try and find, I don't know if anyone knows of one, if anyone can suggest one, but just like a leather aftermarket knob that's fairly weighty. I'm not interested. I don't think I'm bothered about having like a, you know, one of the longer higher up ones, because then you're not going to be able to reach that very well. I like being able to do that. So yeah, I'll have to have a look into that. So yeah, I mean, that is pretty much it. I just sort of wanted to show you around it. And yeah, it's really clean. Super, super clean inside. Like, the seats are so nice. Like, really nice condition. They're really nice, comfortable seats, actually, these STI seats. There was, back there in that corner, there was a bit of mould. Actually, I think you can kind of still see it. That might need cleaning up again. I think that's from, there's obviously been something spilt there or something. And then I think with it been on a boat for however long it was on for, it's had mould growing in it. But yeah, that's not a massive issue to clean up. I've already tried to clean it up a bit once, and it's come out pretty well. So, yeah, what else is there to say? There was one more thing, actually. So somebody asked me about what the auction rating was on this car, and that is not something I thought to ask, which seems probably a bit daft. But it didn't like cross my mind at all. But I suspect it was probably an R, which is like the repaired grade. You know, there's like 5, which is like a new car, and then 4.5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then there's R. And I suspect because of those aftermarket front wings, I think if you've got replacement panels at all, it gets marked as an R. Like, heavily modified cars get marked as an R, I believe. But yeah, if you've got replacement body panels, it's an R. And there is one more thing that is... In fact, there's 2 things, actually. We'll go over the bad bits now. I'll show you the bad bits. So if I open the boot... Right, here we go. Let me try and sort this out. So if I pop these off, which isn't really very easy, I don't really want to take the entire thing off because it's a bit of a faff. I'll just take that out. Let's pull that off briefly. So there we go. As you can see, that is some sort of fiberglass repair or something, is that? It is only small, but actually looking at here, look, you can see where the paint's like orange peeled. It's all kind of rough. It's obviously been repainted, that bit. Which does actually bring me on to something, because I think that other bits have been repainted, but yeah, that's obviously had some sort of... Put these back in if I can. No, screw it, I'll just do those later because it's too much of a mess. It's obviously had a bit of a either smash or rust or something. I don't think it will be rust because the rest of the car's super clean. So I think it's probably had a bit of a prang, something there. Which does make you wonder and worry a little bit, but I've not seen anything else to suggest that the state of the car. Just get back in. People walking about. So yeah, I've not seen anything else to suggest any other sort of damage to the car. There are a few bits, I can't remember where you can see it, but there are a few parts where it's clearly been resprayed because there's obviously, it's not been masked up properly and there's like overspray on some of the plastic bits. I can't remember where they are, but I'll hunt them out after I've finished recording. I'll put them in now so you can see. But yeah, that's one of the bad bits, probably the worst bit. Other bit is, let's see if them people have gone, noisy fuckers. Yeah, I think they've gone. I think this is a fairly common issue here. So there's like the chrome coming through here. These should be black. You can see it here as well. And same on this side. But other than that, there's nothing to really complain about. It's in really nice condition. that's the reason I don't think it's been fully resprayed. Like it's weird. Like some of the doors and stuff look like the paint's really nice and there's like no scratches or anything. But if they'd fully resprayed it, you'd think they'd repaint them bits. But yeah, it's a bit odd. So yeah, there's been resprays and stuff. It's probably had dents and scratches, and there's probably some filler bondo, whatever you want to call it, underneath some panels. But I'm just not going to think about that, to be honest, because until it affects actually driving or anything, it doesn't really matter, does it? I'd rather live in ignorance. Ignorance is bliss and all that. So yeah, that's the car. I'll probably do some more videos on it if people are interested, even if they're interested. I'd like to do a video like driving it around and stuff, and you know, just I guess, yeah, doing a few modifications on it. I don't know if I mentioned as well, this isn't really that important, but I've taken this off before, and the threads from the actual shift knob where it should screw on, where the original one screwed on, because it's got like one of those grubs on top, you know, like a cover to it, an adapter is what I mean, so that can fit on. The threads underneath are like all messed up, like you couldn't screw, because that one from Wish wouldn't screw on because the threads are really messy. So I've got a tap and die set to clean those up. I've already said this, I feel like I've already said this now, but yeah, I've got that to do as well. So I'll probably do a video of just doing like a few bits. I think that might be kind of interesting to people, maybe not. There was actually another thing I forgot to mention, which I just thought, well, I can't see now. Let's see what I'm pointing at. Here we go. That's the light for the aftermarket alarm. So it's got like an aftermarket alarm system, which is good. Very handy for if someone tries nicking it. And yeah, I don't think I can think of anything else at the minute. Sorry, I'm a bit sort of all over the place. That's just how I am, a bit scatterbrained. But yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.